So I would like to update my review on these Amazon Basics chisels. So at first they were great. All you needed to do was sharpen the tip because they come dull, and then they're not poor condition. I don't think any of them are square at the tip, you know. So, but I'm living with it. It's not a big deal. But I recently tried using them as pairing chisels to pair. Well, it looks like 2x4, but these are gonna be braces in the front of my bicycle. One's gonna go here. Oops. And the other one's gonna go here. The wheel's gonna be in the middle. And I'm gonna bolt hydraulic disc brakes to this. And I noticed that they're not completely square when I pair it. Oh, this side I kind of was experimenting. There. Wait. Oh no, this one. Anyway, they're not completely square when I put the square on here. And I was doing some research, and it turns out that if I really want to do that sort of stuff, I'm going to need something called specifically a pairing chisel, or I can use a framing chisel. But one key factor is that these chisels have to be completely flat on this side to pair. You can pair with these. The problem with these chisels is that they're not flat. This one here is actually dipping in the middle by a lot. I'm not even going to bother trying to flatten it. I don't know if I can show you with one hand here. Let me just try. Let's see. Shit. Let me just... No, it's kind of hard for me. Maybe this way. So I don't know if you can see that. See the middle? How light's shining through there? And that's over a millimeter gap. Right? So I'm not going to bother trying to flatten this one because I'm using sandpaper, and this stuff is really hard on this. These hard chisels are really hard on the sandpaper. I'll show you one that I have flattened. I flattened the 1 1/4 inch here. Right? You can get these razor sharp if you sharpen them. It's not a problem. I actually enjoy using them. So you can see here, I tried going with a file. That's why you can see these scratches there. Because what I wanted to do was file this portion here down so it's lower than the face here. So when I go to continue flattening it, when the sandpaper comes over here, it doesn't ride up on this. It just stays flat here. But you see how it looks? Right here is a big dip. Over here was really bulging out. You know? I think I can use it the way it is. It still has a slight bump here. You know? And I only bought 400 to 1500 grit sandpaper, 2 of each piece. And right now I used a 4 and an 800, and they both feel like they're 1000 grit and more. Because they wore down from trying to flatten this. So I don't know. But so I'm gonna just take out 1 or 2 stars for these. I think for a beginner like me, who this is my second set of chisels that I've ever bought. The first one, they weren't very good. These ones here, you can see. Bought those at the flea market. They were never really good at chiseling, so I just kind of used them to chisel whatever. I beat on it really hard. They're no good, and you see how short they are? That's the other problem I have with them. So, you know, I like how long these ones are. I like the finish. They're very sturdy. I've beaten on these chisels, and they're holding up really well. So for a beginner like me, or somebody who's just getting into woodworking, or if you have like a nephew, a cousin, or you know, or somebody young that you know and you want to buy them a nice gift. If you know that they're interested in woodworking and you want to just buy them a nice gift, you know, this is cheap, inexpensive, and they'll have years and years of fun playing with it and doing stuff with it, you know, until the point where they are experienced enough to see the defects in it. You know, like if it wasn't for that there, if this was a lot flatter than that and didn't need so much work, these would be a solid 5 stars. But you know, for the price range, what you get here is something that it's not cutting that many corners. I mean, I find that this is quite durable enough. It holds a really sharp edge and it lasts quite a while. And I find that it's built sturdy. And I find for the price point, all you gotta do is put a little bit of effort here and you're gonna have an extremely good chisel for a long, long time. But if you're a professional that wants something that's done, that's built for somebody who's serious and somebody who doesn't take this as a hobby but does it more than a hobby, like in my case, I do it because I'm going to be saving a lot of money doing a lot of this work myself, and perhaps later on I can build things and sell them and also develop my skills with them. I wouldn't recommend these. But that's for the professional. So, you know, if you're somebody who just needs a nice set of chisels and you got a lot of time on your hands to put the effort in them to really make them shine, then I highly suggest buying them. If you're a professional and you just want a cheap set of chisels just in case you forget yours or whatever, something you can leave it and forget it, I mean, you really got to put the time and effort to make it something worth, something precise, something you can rely on. Other than that, it's a great gift, you know. Me personally, if I had children, young children, and I see that they're interested in woodworking and whatnot, I would definitely buy this and just give it to them, you know, and let them play with it and let them, you know, explore and develop their skill and turn something from a fascination perhaps into a career. You never know, you know. It all starts with something, and this is like getting your hands wet. And if they find that, you know, later on in life that this is what they want to do, then they can upgrade to a nicer set. So I think I'll just drop it down to it. I'd give it 3.5 stars. I think 3.5 stars is good. But I think it'll be 4 stars when I rate it, because I don't know if Amazon gives a half star. So anyway, that's my update. And yeah, my next chisel I'm going to buy is going to be a framing chisel. Hopefully I get lucky on the used market. Anyway, I hope this review helps you guys.